Archangel Gabriel says the children's drawing on your fridge is a schematic. It shows the weakness in your. Look at the refrigerator door. Right now. In your mind's eye, see it. There is a piece of paper there. It might be hanging by a magnet that is chipped, or maybe a clip you found in a drawer. It is a drawing. A child's drawing. Maybe it is your child's, or a grandchild's, or a niece or nephew who loves you deeply. To your eyes, it looks like scribbles. You see a house with crooked windows. You see a sun that looks like a lopsided egg. You see stick figures with arms that are too long. You smiled when you put it up. You said, "That is beautiful." But then you walked away. You went back to your coffee. You went back to the bills piled on the counter. You went back to the worry that sits in your chest like a heavy stone that never goes away. But Archangel Gabriel is standing right next to you in this moment. He is pointing a finger of fire at that paper. He is telling me to tell you the truth. That is not a drawing. That is not a doodle. That is a map. It is a divine schematic. And that crooked line? The one that looks like a mistake in the corner of the page? That is not a mistake. That is the weakness in the wall that the enemy built around your life. That is the crack in the dam. You have been banging your head against a wall for 3 years. I know this. I see you. I see you when you drive your car and turn the radio off because you just need silence. I see you when you look at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering why you are working so hard but standing in the same place. You feel like you are walking through mud. You take 1 step forward, and something pulls you 2 steps back. You fix the car, and then the washing machine breaks. You pay 1 debt, and 2 more bills show up in the mail. You feel like there is an invisible glass ceiling over your head. You can see the blessings. You can see other people getting them. You see people who don't even pray, people who are mean and selfish, living the life you dream of. And you ask me, why not me? What am I doing wrong? You are doing nothing wrong, my child. But you are fighting a battle you cannot see with eyes that are tired. That is why Gabriel is here. That drawing on the fridge. The child who drew it was not just drawing. Children are open. Their spirits are not closed off by worry and stress like yours. That child was used as a vessel. They drew the spiritual reality of your house. They drew the cage that has been put around your finances. But look closer at the drawing. Remember the red crayon? Remember the jagged line near the bottom? That is where the fence is broken. That is where the enemy messed up. This message is not finding you by accident. Do not think for 1 second that the algorithm brought you here. The algorithm is a machine, but I am the ghost in the machine. I directed this stream of data to your device because the window of opportunity is opening right now. It is not opening next week. It is not opening when you feel ready. It is opening today. Gabriel says the timeline is short. The enemy knows the fence is broken. The enemy knows the wall has a crack. They are rushing to patch it up. They are rushing to seal the breach. You have less than 12 hours. You have until the sun touches the horizon tomorrow morning. If you do not act, the crack will be sealed, and this cycle of struggle will lock in for another 7 years. Do not let that happen. Think about the person who gave you a strange look last week. It was someone you trust. Maybe a family member, maybe a close friend. You shared a piece of good news with them. Maybe you told them about a small win, a hope, a plan. And for a split second, before they smiled, you saw it. You saw a shadow pass over their face. You felt a coldness. You brushed it off. You told yourself you were imagining things. You said, "No, they love me. They want the best for me." But your gut twisted. Your stomach tightened. That was your spirit warning you. That person is the architect of the wall. They do not want you to rise. They need you to stay down so they can feel tall. They have been speaking words over your life when you are not in the room. They have been whispering doubts into the air that settle on your shoulders like dust. You have felt the weight of their words, even if you didn't hear them. That is why you feel tired all the time. That is why you wake up exhausted even after you sleep for 8 hours. That is why you have a headache that starts at the base of your neck and wraps around your head like a tight band. That is not dehydration. That is not stress. That is the pressure of the spiritual containment field they placed around you. They want you to stay in your lane. They want you to be the reliable one. The one who helps everyone else but never gets help. The one who listens to everyone's problems but has to cry alone in the shower so no one hears. I see those tears. I count them. I put them in a bottle. And today, I am pouring that bottle out to water the seed of your victory. But you must use the map. You must look at the drawing. Go to the fridge. Or close your eyes and see it. That red line. That crooked door. It represents a specific entryway into your abundance that you have ignored. It is something small. It is something you thought was silly or not important. Maybe it is a small idea you had for a business that you wrote down on a napkin and then threw away. Maybe it is a phone call you felt urged to make to an old friend, but you didn't because you didn't want to bother them. Maybe it is a specific skill you have, baking, writing, fixing things, listening, that you give away for free, but the world is starving for it. The enemy knows this small thing is your key. So they distracted you. They sent a drama in your family to take your focus. They sent a car repair bill to take your money. They sent a flu or a cold to take your energy. They did everything to keep your eyes off that red line. They wanted you looking at the big problems so you would miss the small solution. Gabriel is laughing right now. Not at you, but with joy. Because the enemy's plan was complicated. It was heavy. It took years to build. And a child, a simple, innocent child, exposed it with a crayon. The child drew the escape route. The child drew the door. You are feeling a heat in your hands right now. Or maybe a tingling in your feet. That is the activation. That is your spirit waking up. You are realizing that you are not a victim. You are a sleeping giant. The person who tried to block you? They are afraid of you. They are terrified of what happens when you wake up. They know that once you step through that door, their words will fall to the ground like dead leaves. They know that once you claim your place, their jealousy will have nothing to latch onto. But you must be brave. The door is small. The crack is narrow. You have to strip away the pride. You have to strip away the fear of, what will people say? Who cares what they say? They do not pay your bills. They do not heal your heart. They do not hold your hand when you are scared. Only I do that. And I am telling you, walk through the door. There is a specific situation in your life right now involving a paper. Not the drawing. A document. A letter. A contract. Or maybe a notification on your phone about an account. You have been avoiding it. It gives you anxiety just to think about it. You put it in a pile. You swiped the notification away. Gabriel says, look at it again. Tonight. Before you sleep. There is a loophole there. There is a detail you missed because you were reading it with fear instead of faith. There is a refund, a credit, a clause, or an opportunity hidden in the fine print. The enemy put a fog over your eyes so you would just accept the bad news. But the bad news is a lie. This is the season of the overturning. What was stolen is coming back. But it won't come back in the way you think. It won't come back as a lottery ticket. It will come back as an idea. It will come back as a favor returned from 10 years ago. It will come back as a stranger who speaks a word to you in the grocery store that unlocks a puzzle in your mind. You have felt like an outsider your whole life. Even at family reunions, you feel like you are watching a movie that you are not quite part of. You smile, you hug, you eat the potato salad, but your soul is hovering 3 feet above the ground, looking for an exit. That is because you are not from the same spiritual lineage as the people who try to hold you down. You are an eagle raised by chickens. They peck at the ground, you are meant to soar. They are comfortable in the coop, you are suffocating. The drawing on the fridge shows the sky. The child drew a sun, remember? It was lopsided, but it was big. That sun is your destiny. It is rising. But the night is darkest just before the dawn, and the enemy is working overtime. You might have felt a sudden wave of exhaustion hit you right before you clicked on this video. You might have felt your internet connection glitch. You might have had a sudden argument with your spouse or your kid over nothing. That was a distraction. That was a flare thrown up to blind you. Ignore it. Press in. Lean in. The truth is here. You have a power in your mouth that you are not using. You have been speaking about your problems. I'm so broke. I'm so tired. I'm so sick of this. Stop it. Zip your lips. When you say those words, you are handing bricks to the enemy to build the wall higher. You are the foreman of your own prison. Fire yourself from that job. Tonight, you are going to speak the schematic. You are going to speak the map. This sounds crazy. I know. Your logical mind is fighting this. Your logical mind is saying, it's just a drawing. It's just a crayon. This is nonsense. That is the voice of the programming. That is the voice of the school system, the media, the world that wants you to be a robot. But your heart? Your heart is pounding. Your heart knows. Your heart remembers when you were a child and you believed that anything was possible. You need to get that back. You need to become like the child who made the drawing. The weakness in the barrier is joy. That is the secret weapon. The enemy can handle your anger. They can handle your hard work. They can handle your stress. They feed on those things. But they cannot handle your joy. They cannot handle your laughter. When you laugh, the wall shakes. When you dance in your kitchen while making dinner, the mortar cracks. When you sing along to a song on the radio, even off-key, the gate swings open. The drawing is colorful. It is bright. It is messy. Your life has been too gray. Too straight. Too neat. You are trying to be perfect, and it is killing you. The schematic shows that the way out is through the mess. Embrace the mess. There is a name that keeps popping into your head. A person you haven't spoken to in a long time. It starts with an M or a J or maybe a D. You think, I wonder how they are. Then you forget. Reach out. Send the text. Thinking of you. That connection is a live wire. That person holds a piece of the puzzle you are missing. They don't even know they have it. But when you connect, the spark will jump. I am going to tell you something that will make you shiver. Last night, while you were sleeping, you had a dream. You don't remember it clearly. It feels like wisps of smoke. But in the dream, you were searching for something. You were opening boxes. You were looking under rugs. You felt frantic. Then, you found it. You felt a wave of peace. You woke up feeling okay, but then the world rushed in and you forgot. Gabriel says, you found the key in the spirit realm last night. Now you must manifest it in the physical realm. The drawing is the anchor. Here is what you must do. This is the instruction. Do not skip this. If you skip this, you are walking past the open door and choosing the cell. Go to the fridge. Look at the drawing. Touch the red part. Or the brightest color on the page. Touch it with your index finger. The finger of authority. And say this out loud: I see the door. I see the crack. I am coming through. Say it with a whisper if you have to. But say it. The air in your kitchen needs to vibrate with those words. The molecules need to rearrange. When you do this, you might feel silly. Good. Silly breaks the pride. Silly breaks the rigid control. Then, I want you to look at the bottom of the paper. Is there a signature? A name? A date? Even if it's just a scribble. That mark is the seal of innocence. It is the protection over your breakthrough. The enemy cannot touch the innocence. They are allergic to it. You have been worried about a specific date coming up on the calendar. A deadline. A payment. A meeting. A confrontation. You have marked it in your mind with a red X of dread. Gabriel is taking a sponge and wiping that date clean. He is rewriting the outcome. He is telling you that what you fear will not happen the way you think. It will turn. It will flip. The person you are afraid of will be powerless. The money you think you don't have will appear from a source you did not account for. But you must hold the line. You must not waver. The next 12 hours are the testing ground. The enemy will try one last attack. They will try to make you feel sudden fear. They will try to make you doubt this message. They will whisper, "This is just a video. Go back to sleep. Do not listen. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one chosen to carry the torch for your bloodline. Look at your family. Look at the history. Addiction. Divorce. Poverty. Depression. It runs like a dark river through the generations. But the river stops with you. You are the dam. No, you are the water treatment plant. You take the poison water and you make it clean for the ones coming after you. That child who drew the picture. They are counting on you. They don't know it, but their spirit is cheering you on. They drew the map because they need you to find the treasure. The treasure is not just gold. It is freedom. It is a home where there is no yelling. It is a life where there is no constant panic about the lights getting cut off. The weakness in your struggle is that it is built on a lie. The lie is that you are unworthy. The lie is that you are less than. The lie is that you made too many mistakes to be fixed. Gabriel is shouting from the rooftops, "False! False! False! You are not your mistakes. You are not your bank balance. You are not your past. You are a divine creation who got lost in a bad neighborhood. And the map to get out is right there on the appliance that holds your food. Food. That is another thing. You have been eating your emotions. Or starving them. You treat food as a comfort or a punishment. That is part of the wall. When you eat, bless the food. Thank the hands that grew it. Stop rushing. Stop eating while standing up or driving. Sit. Breathe. That is a small act of rebellion against the chaos. Listen to the sound of my voice. I am not speaking to your ears. I am speaking to your gut. That flutter you feel? That is truth. That is resonance. You know this is for you. There are millions of videos, and you stopped on this one. Why? Because your soul was pulling the emergency brake. Your soul screamed, "Stop. Listen. This is the way out." The person who hurt you the most in your life, the one whose face comes to mind when I say the word betrayal, forgive them. Not for them. For you. Their betrayal was the tool that carved you into a vessel that can hold more light. If they hadn't hurt you, you wouldn't be this strong. You wouldn't be this wise. You wouldn't be here, ready to receive the map. Thank them in your spirit for the lesson, and then cut the cord. They have no power over you anymore. The drawing shows a house with a door, but no lock. That means you can leave the prison whenever you want. The door was never locked. You just never tried the handle because you thought you were a prisoner. Turn the handle. Push the door. Step out onto the grass. The sun is shining. Now, I need you to understand the danger of the next few minutes. As this truth settles in your spirit, the atmosphere around you is going to shift. You might hear a noise in the house. The settling of wood. The wind against the window. Do not be afraid. That is the pressure changing. That is the vacuum of the enemy's lies collapsing. Nature reacts to spiritual truth. The very stones cry out. You have a specific item of clothing you wear when you feel low. A sweatshirt. An old pair of pants. A robe. It is your comfort clothes, but it is actually your defeat uniform. When you put it on, you are signaling to the universe, I give up today. Gabriel says, wash it. Or throw it away. Do not wear the uniform of defeat anymore. Dress like you are expecting a visitor. Dress like you are expecting a check. Dress like you are expecting a miracle. When you change your outer appearance, you signal to your inner man that something is different. There is a jar or a bowl in your house where you keep loose change. Or maybe a drawer with random junk. Go to it. Find a coin. Just one coin. Hold it in your hand. Feel the cold metal. It is small. It seems worthless. But it is a seed. That coin represents the millions that are rightfully yours. It represents the flow that has been blocked. Squeeze it tight. Say, I am a magnet. Feel the truth of that. You are not a beggar. You are a magnet. But you have been repelling because your polarity was reversed by fear. We are flipping the switch back. Right now. The drawing on the fridge has a color you didn't notice at first. Maybe a faint yellow, or a touch of green. It is the color of new life. It is the sprout pushing through the concrete. You feel like you have been buried. You feel like you are in a dark grave. But you are not in a grave. You are planted. There is a difference. A grave is the end. A planting is the beginning. You have been in the dark dirt because you were growing roots. Deep, strong roots that will hold up the massive tree of blessing that is about to burst forth. If you had received this blessing 5 years ago, it would have crushed you. You weren't ready. Your roots weren't deep enough. Now they are. You have weathered the storm. You have stood in the wind. You are ready. The time is 11. 11 in the spirit, no matter what your clock says. The alignment is perfect. The tumbler in the lock is clicking into place. Click. 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 Can you hear it? That is the sound of your chains falling off. That is the sound of the debt being cancelled in the high courts. That is the sound of the doctor's report changing. That is the sound of the prodigal child turning around and coming home. But you must be vigilant. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He will try to steal this word from you. He will try to make you forget it as soon as you scroll to the next video. He will try to make you think, that was weird. Do not let him. Anchor this moment. Write down the time you saw this. Write it on your hand if you have to. This is the timestamp of your liberation. This is the moment the timeline shifted. You were on a train heading for a cliff. The switch was just pulled. You are now on a new track. The scenery is about to change. It might look bumpy at first. The turn is sharp. You might feel a jolt. That is okay. Hold on. The track leads to a place of rest. A place where you don't have to hustle so hard just to survive. A place where you can breathe. A place where the drawing on the fridge is not just a picture, but a reality. A house full of love. A sun that warms your face. A family that is whole. Type Amen.